For a long time, probability was not part of math, really. People played gambling games and they really didn't study them mathematically. They really thought there was like luck involved and things like that, but they didn't do like a real systematic study of probability of games of chance until the 1600s, when two mathematicians, Pascal, they're both French, and Fermat, analyzed a famous probability question, which is now known as the problem of points. Let me describe what the game is. You have two players, we just call them A and B. Those are two people. And they each put $50 into the middle of the table. So there's $100 in there. 100. And they're going to play a game where a coin is flipped. And if heads comes up on the coin, A gets a point. And if tails comes up on the coin, B gets a point. And the first person to get to 10 points wins the $100. Seems simple enough game. So if the score is 10-1, A gets $100. If the score is 10-9, A gets $100. Doesn't matter what the other person's score is. Whoever gets to 10 points gets all the money. The other person gets nothing. So A and B are playing a game, and at some point the score is 8-7. And then the coin, they flip it on that last one. They flip it one more time, and it falls down the subway grate. They lose the coin, and there's no other coins to continue the game. So the game has to be halted. But the score is 8-7. So the dilemma is, what should happen? Should A argues? A says I should get all $100 because I was winning at the time. B says we should split it 50-50 because because maybe I was going to win. Well, neither of these are considered the right answer nowadays. It seems like it seems like 50-50 isn't totally fair because A was winning and that A should get, more than half the money and B should get less than half the money. But the question is, how should they split up the money? Okay, so I want you to think and then also write up, what do you think is a fair way to split the money when the score is 8-7? Should it be half and half? Should the A get all the money? Or is there some other solution? And various mathematicians have had different theories as to what the correct answer was, although there is an actual correct answer also. But why don't you come up with a couple of ways? What do you think is the most fair? Now, to check if your system is good, what would it say they should split if the score is, here's a couple of scores. What if it's 8-3? What should the split of the $100 be? What if the score is 7-7? What if the score is 9-0 and they lose the coin? How should they split that one up? And then the most difficult question of all, what if the score is just 1-0? The reason I have these different scenarios is whatever you think is the most fair way of doing it, it should produce fair splits for any scenario and not just for certain ones. So that's what I want you to think about. And that's a very famous problem of the points. in the next video, I'll provide what the solution is. But for now, I just want you to spend time thinking about, and maybe you could think of more than one way, and maybe you're not sure which is the most fair, and you have two different ways, or maybe you have some ways that you do in certain situations and some ways for other ones, but there will be an actual solution that will work for any scenario to produce the fair split.